Hello there, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nyasha, and today we have a book-related video. I feel like every single time that I'm making a bookish video, I always start off by saying, time is moving so fast, blah, 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 but yeah, time is moving fast. It's sprinting, actually. And I was not aware of this because we are already in April, and that means that we've gone through the first quarter of the year. Sorry, I know that it's only 3 months, but like 3 months? What do you mean it's been 3 months of 2025? If you notice on my channel, I haven't been doing monthly wrap-ups or like monthly TBRs, and that's just because I'm not reading enough in a month for me to warrant a full video for that. So I thought instead what I could do is just do a collection of the months, and so every single quarter I will give you guys my reading wrap-up. So welcome to the reading wrap-up of Q1. I'm really excited to be talking about books with you guys today because I just love to yap. I love books. And that's what we do in videos like this, okay? They go together. So yeah, so grab a drink. It's gonna be long. If you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. If you are a regular returner, a viewer, thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. And let's just get into all the books I read. It's hot in the room, which is crazy. That's a crazy statement. Like, no ways I just said that it's hot in my room. I feel like winter has lasted literally forever, but oh well. I'm just going to share with you my statistics. In my first quarter, I managed to read 8 books, which I'm very proud of, actually. I feel like that's a good amount, especially for someone who's trying to juggle so many different things. I'm really happy with the amount that I read. Don't let anybody tell you that you read too little or too much. Like, come on. Let's all love each other and respect each other. And yeah, so let's get into it. So in the month of January, I managed to read 3 books. I haven't spoken about books in so long. I feel like nervous. But yeah, the first book that I read was Part of Your World by Jimenez, and I rated this book 4 stars. Now, if you ask me what it was about, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I know that it is a part of an interconnected romance series, and I'm pretty sure Part of Your World follows, I can't remember the main character's name. Guys, this is gonna be really bad. This is the problem with doing it like quarterly. I'm gonna forget names. I'm so sorry. But I know the main character is a surgeon, I think. Oh, she works in the emergency. No, wait, I'm mixing up books now. Oh dear. We're not even gonna talk about it. But I feel like Part of Your World is a pretty well-known book amongst bookish social media platforms. And yeah, I thought that it was a really good book. I enjoyed the romance that was between our main character, and all I remember is the main male character because his name was Daniel, which is my brother's name. But I think maybe her name was Alexis. I want to say Alexis so bad, but I don't know. Anyways, the two of them, their romance, their chemistry was pretty good. The reason why this didn't get 5 stars was because there were times where I felt like it was too predictable, and also it didn't feel realistic. Like most of the time, like if you're looking for a rom-com that's very fluffy, not very deep, I feel like you could definitely enjoy the Jimenez, this series of hers that she has. But yeah, I thought that it was an okay romance. Now thinking back on it, I'd probably give it a 3.5 instead of a 4 stars because it wasn't life-changing, and I had not recommended it to anyone. Like, I genuinely forgot that I read that book. But I know that it is a cult classic and loads of people love it. I can appreciate it, but it's probably not one of my favorite romances. I don't have much to say about it because I read it and I forgot about it almost immediately. But it wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. I just would say it's not the type of romance that I'm very interested in. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Part of Your World. I'm not really going to go into it much because, like I said, I didn't really enjoy it, but those are my thoughts. Here we go. The next book that I read was I actually owned, and that is Think Again by Jacqueline Wilson. This book, I rated it 1 star. Okay, let's give a little bit of a backstory on Nyasha as a reader. I used to read Jacqueline Wilson novels all the time in my youth. Probably shouldn't have been reading them because they cover some really heavy topics for children who are 11 years old. I probably should not have been reading them, but I did. Okay, and she was like one of my favorite authors. Every time that there was a book of hers that I hadn't read in the library, I would go and I would check that out and make sure that I'd read up her entire bibliography. So to my surprise, I saw that she published an adult novel, and I was like, oh my gosh, hey queen, where you been? So I picked it up and I was like, actually I was gifted this, which is also so sad. But I was gifted the book and I was like, I'm gonna read this. I read it. I hated it. It's a book, so it actually follows one of the characters that she wrote about in their teenage years, if that makes sense. So if you know who, like if you remember the trio, the girls series, Ellie, Magda, and Nadine, this book follows Ellie Allard as she's like, I think she's 40. You have the sort of backstory of her from the other books, and then you have this book, and this felt like a Jacqueline Wilson novel trying to be an adult novel, if that makes sense. Like the main character still felt like she was 15 even though she was 40 and she had a child. It just was so not what I was expecting, and it did not live up to my expectations, because I had these wonderful memories of reading Jacqueline Wilson novels and like deeply not connecting to the characters but being in awe of the stories and the plots that she decided to take on. But this entire book, I saw everything coming before it happened, and I guessed the ending. Like there was nothing in this book that shocked me, surprised me, entertained me, really. It was actually one of the most painful things I've read in a very, very long time. I would not recommend it. But if you are someone who wants to see the end of Ellie Allard's story, I say go ahead and pick it up, but I would not, just because it feels so much like a young adult novel, being like, it feels like a teenager writing about what adult life is like, and so it's very unrealistic, and I really did not enjoy it. So that's why it ended up getting 1 star. It's kind of sad because, like I said, I have like an emotional connection to Jacqueline Wilson, but this just, it was not for me. Okay, like it was not for me. I would not recommend it either. I thought that this was going to be like a more adulty romance, but the main character is just so infuriating and so immature, even though she has a child. Like her child is more mature than her, and so I could not deal with it. I did not enjoy it. So yeah, that was that book. The final book that I read in January was called That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. This book I rated 4.5 stars. I loved it. Okay, so it's a mystery sort of thriller idea, and I think I've spoken about it in other videos as well, but it had such a refreshing concept, and I did not see the plot twist coming at all. I really enjoyed it, and it's also such a fast-paced book that it meant that I didn't lose interest, and it was just easy to connect with the characters and like understand like basically the mystery that's happening. My least favorite thing about mysteries is when everything, you feel so far away from all the action that's happening, but I feel like in this one you get really up close and personal. There are 2 sort of characters or timelines that you're really following, and I just really enjoyed that. I was on the edge of my seat. I think that this is definitely a great mystery thriller for young adults, especially if you're just getting into mystery thriller. I think it's so good. Once again, it's so short that you can read it quickly and it still pays off so well. I would definitely recommend this, and that was a great ending to my January month reading wise. I just really enjoyed it. I recommended it to my sister. I recommend it to literally anyone that wants a good, quick, fast-paced mystery. I'd even go as far as saying that That's Not My Name was a better mystery thriller than The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I said what I said. I'm sorry. I said what I said. Oh, I didn't even give you like what the book was about. That book is basically about this girl, once again, don't remember her name. She wakes up on the side of the road, and when she's taken to the police and they ask her, hey girlie, like, who are you? Like, what's your name? She cannot remember. And someone comes and finds her and starts calling her names, but then she realizes, hey, that's not my name. And so that's where it goes on from there. So I feel like it was just a really good book. Okay. Then we go into the month of February, which is where I read 2 books. It was a pretty good reading month. The reason why I only managed to read 2 books, besides the fact that I'm always just busy and I don't make enough time for reading, much to my dismay, was because the first book that I read was incredibly long, and that, my beautiful people, was Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This is another book that also got 4.5 stars. 2 back-to-back really great books in my opinion. But if you have been living under a rock, just kidding, if you don't know anything about Fourth Wing, this is a very popular fantasy romance, romantasy, dare I say, on, once again, all the bookish socials. It's got dragons, it's got a schooling system, it's got a kick-ass female main character, and then it also has that angsty enemies to lovers that everybody loves to see. And boy, did I love to see it. Boy, did I love to see it. I think the only reason this didn't get a 5-star was because I just didn't get that 5-star feeling from it. But I thoroughly enjoyed reading this book. It reminded me so much of like nostalgic OG fantasies. Like I'm talking like your Throne of Glass, your Shatter Me's, your Serpent and Dove. Like remember when that whole era was going on? I feel like this would fit in so perfectly, and it would just like Shadow and Bone. Oh yeah. It was just so unbelievably good, and there is a lot to get through, and the books only get bigger from here. I just really enjoyed the story, and I feel like the world itself is so rich, and there's so much that you can get to know about the characters, about the places, about the conflicts that happen, and the magic system, and just how, well, I wouldn't say magic system really, but like the fantastical elements of this book are just like, I think they're really innovative and they're done really well. So I did really enjoy this book. I put off reading it for a while, but then my friends told me like, Nyasha, pick up the book. Like, how have you not read this book before? So I picked it up, and they were not lying. The book did not disappoint. So yeah, this was probably one of the better books that I've read in the first quarter, and I have put off reading the second book, but I really want to pick it up soon. It's just that it's so long, and the issue with me right now is that if it takes me a while to get through the first 100 pages of a book, and if I can't do that, then I'm just not going to read, because once I get past 100 pages, I'm flying through books. Like, I love it. I can read quickly, but it's just getting through those 100 pages, and there's just so much of that other book, the second book. But I will read it by the end of this year. You best believe I'm going to read Iron Flame. So yeah, so those are my thoughts on Fourth Wing. I say if you like romantasy, pick it up. You will enjoy it. I enjoyed this book more than Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I'm sorry that I'm doing all these comparisons, but like if you know the books, then you'll see like where my tastes lie. So yeah, I enjoyed this a lot more than Powerless, because I just thought that it was a lot more creative, and the dragons, oh, the dragons. Need I say more? No. So that was Fourth Wing. The last book that I read in February was The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. This book I gave 4 stars. I'm a Holly Jackson stan. The A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, chef's kiss, like probably a 5-star young adult read series for me. I read 5 Survive the other time, like not the other time, last year, or was it 2 years ago now? I can't remember, but I read 5 Survive, loved that. And this was another really good mystery thriller. I don't know if it's mystery thriller. Once again, I always confuse those two genres, or I just kind of like lob them together, because I feel like you can't really have a mystery without a little bit of thrill. You know, you got my drift. When I think about it though, I don't actually remember much about what happened in this book. All I remember is that I had good vibes while I was reading the book. Oh, right. Okay. The plot has just come back to me. So basically the plot is about this girl, can't remember her name once again. Mother disappeared when she was 2, and years go by. I think it was like 13 or 15 years. I can't remember, something like that. But her father decides to agree to someone making a documentary over the disappearance of Rachel Price, and then she reappears. So the title, The Reappearance of Rachel Price, that's sort of that's the vibe of the book. The main character kind of got on my nerves a little bit, but I fear that that's just a regular occurrence for Holly Jackson. Like, even in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, like Pip, she kind of annoyed me in the second book, but in the third book, she kind of regained my love for her. And then also in 5 Survive, I'm pretty sure the main character is Reid, but wasn't a fan of her, really wasn't. But I enjoy the mystery and the way that Holly Jackson writes those stories, and it's to the point where they feel like they could happen, like they feel like things that may be going on in the world right now, which just makes them even more intriguing. So yeah, those are my thoughts on which. Isn't it kind of crazy that I could remember the names of the characters from the series I read years ago, but this one I don't remember? Who knows? who knows why the brain does what the brain does. Wow, we are flying through these. So then in the last month of the first quarter, March, I managed to read 3 more books. The first book that I read was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This I rated 2 stars. Yeah. So I think by this point I had realized that I didn't really enjoy the first book of that series, Yours Truly. No, not Yours Truly, sorry. Part of Your World. And so I was a bit hesitant to go into the next book, and everything that I didn't like in Part of Your World was done like 10,000 times worse and more in Yours Truly, and I just could not deal with it. There were so many pop culture references, and I don't like that in my romances. I don't like that in books in general, because I'm like, I know what's going on right now in pop culture. Why is that in my book? That's not like, it's just a weird thing that I don't like seeing in books, because I feel like it's never really done well. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain why I don't like it, but I just don't. So there was that, and then also main character and like the main reason why they couldn't be together towards the end, or like just like the ending of that book, really knocked it down several stars, because the main female character was just not making sense. Like, she was like, there were so many things that would have made the conflict avoidable, and she was just choosing every wrong thing. And so I don't like it when that's how the romance is done, and like why the 3rd act breakup happens, whatever, because it feels like, I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't feel organic, and it does not feel real. It just feels like she was doing it for the plot. I just don't like it when romances do that. But I will say the reason why this book did get 3 stars was because I loved the male main character. I think that there was some great representation of anxiety, and it was very refreshing to see that representation coming from the male main character, not the female main character. I feel like it does great for representation. So I enjoyed that aspect of the book. I really did. I can't remember his name. It was either, I want to say Joshua. Can you, guys, how do people remember names of people from books? I just don't, unless it was like an earth-shattering, chemically changing book for my life. I'm not gonna remember character names. I'm just not. That's not how I'm wired. Anyways, yeah, the male main character in Yours Truly was so good, and I just love anything where 2 people who are romantically invested in each other are sending each other letters. That's like my that's like my thing. That's my favorite trope. I love it so much. I love love letters. I love love, period. So that's why the book did get 3 stars. No, wait, my bad. I've been saying 3 stars. The book got 2 stars. Yeah, the main female character really got on my nerves. Like, she was just, the way that she was moving was not like a reasonable person. I was like, so is that the fault of your character, like how your makeup, or is this just because Abby Jimenez wanted to create drama where there was no drama for no reason? Like, it just didn't seem like it needed to happen, and so that's why I didn't enjoy it. I'm sorry. And I also do not think that I will be continuing that series of interconnected romances, because I just they're not clicking with me. They're not my favorite. And I've already been through the trauma of finishing a interconnected romance series that I did not enjoy, the Chestnut Spring series, and I don't feel great afterwards. Like, I read the books and then I forget about them. I will say though, if you are going to read the Chestnut Spring series, read Heartless. That is my favorite book from that series, and definitely worthwhile. So I think my issue was I'm looking for a replacement or a placeholder for the Windy City series, because that one, I think we're waiting for another book, but I've read all the books in that series and I love them. I love those characters so much. So I was just looking for another interconnected romance series that I could read. But this is not the one for me. It's just not, unfortunately. The next book that I read, it was Yellowface by Rebecca F. Kuang. This rated at 5 stars. If I could inject this into my body, I would. I loved this book so much. I want to go into detail about what this book is about, but I have a reading vlog and you can see my summary, my literal reaction to the ending of this book. If you want to see how much this book impacted me and changed my being, watch that reading vlog, because I go into depth. We are like this in that reading vlog. But yeah, briefly just to discuss my thoughts on this book, I think the concept of it was so interesting, very original. I loved it. The main character is someone that is infuriatingly lovable, and I just think if you have the ability to write a character like that, you're a 10 out of 10 creative mind, genuinely. I just think that this book goes into so much real life drama, but also the things that were happening were also a bit cuckoo crazy. So I just love that balance, and it just gets blurry, it gets messy, it gets creative. I loved it so much. I would definitely recommend this. And it was this my first? I think this was my first R.F Kuang book, and I need more. I need more. Or if you have any recommendations of books that are like Yellowface, please let me know, because this is my first 5-star read of the entire year, and I don't know what's going to like get to this level as well. Plus, I feel like this is also like, unlike Goodreads, they say that this is a thriller, but I also think that this is kind of literary fiction. This is the first literary fiction that I've enjoyed thoroughly, like enjoyed this much. Okay, I just lied. I just lied to you. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, that's a literary fiction, right? Yeah, that's another 5-star read. So literally ignore just what I just said. That was the bald face lie. I'm so sorry about that, but all that to say, I really enjoyed it. If you want to know a little synopsis about it, it's basically you have this white author who is friends with this Asian author who dies, and June, our main character, is sort of juggling with the idea of taking inspiration or work from the author who passed away to become a successful author. So it's very messy, as we all know. I love good messes. And yeah, it's just a really good book. This made me happy. Okay, we are now at the final book of the first quarter, which I think that this has gone very well. If you were expecting me to really give you a good synopsis of these books, I'm so sorry. You've come to the wrong place. Here, we just go off of vibes. And I feel like the way that I'm describing these books lets you know the vibe that I got from them. And I hope it can give you the way that, the certain way that I talk about books can either recommend them to you, or, you know, we can agree in the fact that they may have been misses. So if you have read any of these books, or if you want to read any of these books, let's talk about it in the comments, because as you can see, I love to yap about books, just wholeheartedly. Yeah, okay, so as I was saying, the last book that I read in March was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This I also read in a reading vlog, so you can, the same reading vlog with Yellowface actually, so you can check that out to see my raw reactions as well as my overall like more coherent and more probably thought through ideas and feelings on the book. But I rated this book 4 stars, which I think is actually pretty good. It was definitely one of the better romances I've read this entire year so far. It's about this main female character who is an author. She writes erotic fantasy novels. It's a second chance romance, and the person that she's giving a second chance to is, you know, her high school thing, who has also become an author. So it was just this beautiful display of Black love, and second chance romances will always have a place in my heart, especially ever since I read is there ever going to be a video about books where I don't mention this series? I don't know, but second chance romances have really become a part of me ever since I read the Magnolia Parks series. There's something about the way that Jessa Hastings writes second chances and just romance in general that has changed my perspective on things. Moving off of Jessa Hastings, because I don't as you can see, the way that I feel about her as an author and just her creative mind and her works, I'm at a loss for words. I love that woman and her writing and that series so much. I actually need to go get her newest release, The Conditions of Will. I might order it as like a birthday gift for myself because I really want to read it. But anyways, we're moving on. We don't have to talk about my favorite author in this video, even though I already did. But anyways, back to 7 Days in June. Like I said, it's a second chance romance, and it really hit hard with me. I did think that the pacing of it was a little bit off, and the timing of things was off, because as per usual in second chance romances, you have a dual timeline, and I don't think that we spent enough time in either of those timelines to feel fully connected to our main characters. The book itself is also very short, so it really does not give us time to get to know these characters, especially if you're splitting up the character like into her past self and her present self. Like, if you're doing a second chance romance, you need to make sure that both of those characters get a chance to thrive and that we get to see those characters completely and see, oh, this is how, I think her name is Ava. This is how Ava, we're just gonna say Ava, I don't know. This is how Ava becomes older Ava. I feel like there was that massive gap, and so that made me feel a little bit disconnected from the main characters, and then I wasn't rooting as hard for their romance. But it was beautifully written, and I really did enjoy it. There were also a lot of pop culture references in this book, especially because it was I don't know if it was published in 2019, but a lot of the references were around that era. And in the reading vlog, I do mention that they were done well. Some of them were, but once again, some of them did also ick me out, but whatever. Overall, I really did enjoy that book, and I would recommend it to people just because of what the younger version of themselves go through. It's just so harrowing, and to see them become who they are, I did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. So those are all the books that I've read in this first quarter. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you understood it. I hope that you got even just a little bit of my feelings, my thoughts, my loves, my dislikes from this video. If you want to chat about anything, comment down below, because I am always open to discussing things. And if you have recommendations of books that I should read in the next quarter, then you should also leave those in the comment section below, because I currently don't have a TBR. I'm so up in the air about all the books I want to read that I can't even make a decision. So please and thank you, please leave recommendations. That is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next bookish video. I have some exciting stuff coming up that I'm so excited to share with you guys, so please stick around, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.